It's the Bobby Moe Show right here, and I'm Chris Shovlin, the play-by-play voice of Robert Morris University basketball and football. Speaking of football, we have a guest coming up in just a little bit, but we're going to start off with Emily Rocco from women's soccer, followed by the aforementioned football quarterback of the Colonials, George Martin, and Josh Nagy will come in from men's golf. All that coming up right here on the Bobby Moe Show next.
Parents, sign your kids up for the all-new Romos Kids Club presented by Mike and Tony's Gyros. It's free for all kids 12 and under. Your kids get free admission to all Army football games, select men's and women's basketball games, special game day activities, and a free Mike and Tony's Kids meal. Parents also get special ticket pricing for any extra tickets. Register today at rmucolonials.com/Kids Club or call 412-397-4949.
It's the Bobby Moe Show here, and I'm Chris Shovlin. Good to have you with us. We're going to talk women's soccer right now with Emily Rocco. She is a freshman, and you finished with the third most goals on the team, and that's 2, and you're the only freshman who scored that many goals this year for the Robert Morris Colonials. Emily, welcome to the program. Thanks for being here.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
All right, let's talk a little bit about your club this year. You just finished up the season, and you did it on a high note with a 1-0 win in overtime, right?
Right, yeah. It was awesome. Haley, thank God she got that goal in overtime. Youngstown, they're our rival, so it was nice to get a win our last game.
Okay, you're only a freshman, so you know the rivalry route already as far as the Horizon League is concerned. Let's talk about some of the teams that you played this year and how tough the league was.
Oh, so it was a really tough transition from club and high school to college, and obviously college is much faster than club and high school, so it's a step above, and I felt that I was prepared, and my team as well, and these girls are just amazing to play with, and I thought that our chemistry really brought us together and helped us get through the season, and much better than last year. Obviously we had more wins, and it was great. Our coaching staff is awesome. I love them.
That's great to know. That's great to know. You started all 19 games this year for Robert Morris. That had to be a pretty nice feather in your cap.
Yeah, I mean, it's great. I couldn't have done it without my teammates and coaches, obviously. They definitely pushed me, and yeah.
Super. You're from Upper St. Clair. You played at Upper St. Clair High School, I take it. And let's talk about the experience of playing high school soccer here in Western Pennsylvania these days.
I love it. I love playing at USC. So my club coach is also my high school coach, and he really prepared me for college. So I felt I was really prepared coming into college this year. So.
Okay. Talk about the club team that you play for, too.
I played for Century, and so we were a really good club team, and they definitely prepared me for this next level. So
Upper St. Clair has a really great tradition in soccer, and I'm sure there was a lot to live up to when you played for them, right?
Oh, right. Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So let's talk a little bit about the team this year. You went 6-10-3, 2-6-3 in the Horizon League. I know it was a growing year for you. As I said, you started all 19 games, and you're the only freshman to do so. Your teammates obviously welcomed you in. I'm sure you played with some upperclassmen as well. Let's talk about some of the relationships you're starting to build here with this club.
Yeah, so I had actually played with Haley on my club team. Mm-hmm. So I was kind of used to playing with her, and we play really well together, and I grew some really great friendships with the other girls, and I think that really helped me perform at the highest level I could.
And your teammates are from all over the place, too.
Right, yeah.
I mean, like literally all over the country, and one from Japan as well.
Right, yeah.
Was there a language problem?
No, she was actually great.
She speaks better English than we do, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. Well, Emily, obviously just finishing your first year, what are you looking forward to next year and growing toward your 4-year career here at Robert Morris? What do you want to see yourself do? How do you picture yourself in the future with this club?
Hopefully, I want to try to lead this team to a championship, and I think that would be great for this university. So I'm really hoping that we could do that in my 4 years. I think that would be awesome.
What about soccer in general? Do you have anybody you admire out there, any particular player or players or any particular team that you favor?
To be honest, I really don't have a favorite. I mean, I watch college soccer a lot. I mean, really just to watch all the girls and the guys and just, to help me better myself. So,
favorite MLS team maybe?
Manchester.
Well, okay. We're going over there then.
Yeah.
All right, that's super. How did you get started playing soccer? Was it something that the youth league at Upper St. Clair was that drew you in?
I started at a very young age, about 4 years old. So my dad and my mom kind of they pushed me into it at first, hoping I would like it, and I loved it, obviously, and I stuck with it, and here I am.
Were they soccer players before you?
No, they weren't.
But they turned into soccer fans,
right.
I'm sure. All right, super. Emily Rocco, our guest here in this segment of the Bobby Moe Show from Upper St. Clair High School in Pittsburgh South Hills. Member of the women's soccer team here at Robert Morris University. Again, they just finished their season with a 1-0 win over longtime rival Youngstown State University. Emily, thanks for joining us. It's nice meeting you, and best of luck in the years to come. Coming up next on the Bobby Moe Show, we're going to talk to Robert Morris University football quarterback George Martin. That's coming up right after this. Have you ordered your Perry's Ice Cream Family Fun Pack yet? Enjoy all the excitement of RMU football and men's and women's basketball with delicious Perry's Ice Cream, the official ice cream of the RMU Colonials. Get 4 game day tickets and 4 Perry's Ice Cream treats for $40. For more information and to order your Perry's Family Fun Pack, call the RMU ticket hotline at 412-397-4949 or check it out at rmucolonials.com. The quarterback of the Colonials, I guess we can say the quarterback of the Cardiac Colonials, is George Martin out of Ringgold High School in Monongahela, Pennsylvania. George, you have us clutching our chests week in and week out, particularly at home. Talk about all these comebacks that you've been pulling off.
They're always fun. We find ourselves down in the fourth quarter a lot in particular. And even last year and years prior, we found success in the fourth quarter and able to pull some of these games out, which I think is, one of the most fun things you can do on the field is come back in games like that.
It's been a blast, and of course you led the drive that ended up with Nick Biseglia's big field goal with 5 seconds left that gave you the win over the Hampton Pirates this past week. And I'm just wondering what you felt like when you saw that ball going through the pipes.
I couldn't believe it. Some people are turning their heads for kicks like that. I'm one of the people who just stare right at it, and Nick has been great for us. I think he's one of the best kickers this college has probably ever seen, because he's just so clutch in times like that. So having Nick on the field, some people turn their heads, but I have the utmost confidence that the ball's going to go through the uprights.
Absolutely. This week, you started the game on offense, and that's something that Bernard Clark Jr., your head football coach, doesn't necessarily always do, but he told me last week that he was thinking about putting the offense out there first, and obviously it paid off because you drove the Colonials right downfield.
Yeah. So we almost always defer and let the other team take the ball if we win the toss. And luckily this year, I think we've won the toss almost every game, actually. So this week we decided to change it up. We thought our offense could, spark something early. The past few games before Hampton, we weren't starting the game too well, so we thought if we put the offense out there first, we could spark something, get the defense going, and that's really what we did in the first drive against Hampton.
You're 3-0 at home. What's so magical about playing here?
It's the atmosphere, I think. When you got fans like that right behind you, we're on the sideline right by the stands, so you got your friends, your family right behind you. They support you, they give you confidence, and when you hear their voices, it's something different playing at home. It's something that gives you confidence. It reminds you of home, and it just gives you that comfort that you need to win games.
Yeah, I know you're from Monongahela. You played at Ringgold High School, and when you talk about Ringgold, Monongahela quarterbacks, obviously people start talking about Scott Zolak. No, they don't. They start talking about Joe Montana, although Scott Zolak's name comes up from time to time too. But here in western Pennsylvania, I grew up in the Beaver Valley where, we had Joe Namath, and here in Pittsburgh, Dan Marino. I can go on and on and on about the legendary quarterbacks, but was there something special about being the quarterback at Ringgold, or something special about growing up in Monongahela that made you want to be the quarterback, made you want to follow those guys and in their footsteps?
Yeah, absolutely. You couldn't, go to our high school without seeing, Joe's name at least 3 times. I mean, I get out of bed, I go to school, I cross the Joe Montana bridges.
Yep.
I walk into the locker room for practice. There's his jersey hanging up. You go out to the field, he's out there on the sign for the Joe Montana Stadium. So, it was always something to look up to, and always, a goal and something you wanted to reach, as crazy as it sounds, when you're a kid, it's something you dream of. So
Sure.
It was always interesting. It was always fun to learn about, the guys from the area back then. So it was definitely something that I look back at and I smile, because, those dreams when you're a kid, they seem, like all you want to do. And then, as you get older, you get other things coming. But sometimes you like to go back as a kid, and you like to, make those dreams and set those expectations for yourself.
Have you always played that position? Have you always been the quarterback?
Yeah, I started playing flag football when I was like 4 years old, and I was at left tackle then because I was bigger than the other kids.
Sure.
And then I moved to center and quarterback when I was probably 6 or 7 years old, and I've been playing quarterback ever since.
Who's your biggest hero at quarterback? We just mentioned some big names here, but who do you watch right now? Like, who's playing right now that you emulate?
I'd say this year in particular would be Matt Stafford with the Rams.
Sure.
That team's just absolutely electric, and it's fun to watch Matt Stafford in L.A.
See, I was wondering if you were going to go with Aaron Rodgers, because you have the whole beard thing going.
Yeah. People give me that all the time. They'll call me Aaron Rodgers if I have a good pass, and then so people always say, like, you kind of look like Aaron Rodgers, but Aaron got the hair going now, and I still got a short cut. So
yeah, you got the curls too. So,
yeah, I do have the curls.
Yeah,
yep.
Yeah, you got that going for you though. All right, the quarterback of the Colonials, George Martin, is with us, and we're talking about George primarily, but let's talk about Robert Morris football. You've seen this program go from the Northeast Conference into the Big South. That is a huge step.
Yeah, it is. You talk about the NEC, and there's good teams in the NEC, but especially when you move to the Big South, every team you play is a good team. So it's fun to watch the team develop from, we were an NEC competitor, and we're developing into a Big South competitor, and hopefully, in the next coming years, we can be a Big South champion, which is really what Coach Clark's after.
You've been knocking off some Big South teams recently, of course, but there's a huge one coming up this weekend. The Kennesaw State Owls, one of the top teams in the league. Give me a little prep for Saturday's game. What can I look for, and what can the Colonials look for against Kennesaw State?
Kennesaw State's they're ranked number 12th in the nation right now. Their offense is very dynamic. Their drives are probably the longest drives in the country. They run a triple option type of offense, and they'll hold the ball, and we'll be lucky as an offense for RMU to get 5 drives. So every drive matters. We're looking to score every drive, and that's how we're going to win this game.
10 touchdowns so far this year, passing, 4 touchdowns rushing, and a couple of those touchdowns I've seen you score, there's a little bit of a quarterback draw, kind of a little hitch in the giddy up before you get into the end zone. I'm sure you prefer throwing touchdown passes, but when you do run them, you've got that going for you.
Right. I'm definitely a throwing quarterback, but I think it kind of gives me the advantage when we're in there tight in the red zone, where everyone's expecting me to pass as soon as I get the snap. So they're not really expecting me to run a QB draw, and luckily we've had a lot of success with that play.
All right, I'm going to put you on a spot here. Tell me a little bit about Coach Clark. Maybe some things that he's told you, maybe some things that he's tried to get a charge out of you. I mean, is there anything that you can share with us from the locker room with Coach Clark?
Oh man, yeah, there's a lot of things. He's highly energetic when it comes to the locker room, especially pregame. He's emotional, but he has all the right emotions where it's motivating and gives us confidence before we go out there. So he's always fun to listen to. He's highly energetic. He's yelling, he's screaming, and we even have a little chant where he gets in the middle and he's chanting. We're repeating it back. So it's a lot of fun pregame with Coach Clark.
It sounds like you've had a lot of fun here in your Robert Morris football career too,
yeah.
George.
Yes, I have. A lot of fun.
That's really good to know. That's George Martin, and we want to wish you the best of the luck the rest of the way. You got a bunch of games left. Kennesaw State's the big one this coming weekend, and go get those Owls.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Chris.
All right. Josh Nagy's coming up next. We're going to talk men's golf here on the Bobby Moe Show. Stay with us.
want to catch all the action of RMU football and basketball, but your schedule is too busy to commit to games in advance? Have we got a ticket package for you? Our new Flex plan gives you the ultimate flexibility to pick and choose your games and saves you 30% off regular ticket prices. For only $99, you'll receive 12 ticket vouchers you can redeem in any number at the box office on game day. Call the RMU Ticket Hotline at 412-397-4949 or check it out at rmucolonials.com.
The Bobby Moe Show rolls on as we talk men's golf with Josh Nagy, a junior from Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. He's a finance major, and he set a new 54-hole scoring record with a 209. He posted a 65 and a round. That ties the school's lowest. Josh, you're just coming off the last match of the season, right in time for the weather to change.
Yeah, no, the last tournament was great. Being in playoff for first, and then unfortunately not being able to complete the playoff due to darkness kind of sucked, but it was a great learning experience. Got to feel kind of how the nerves were going to be in that situation, and I just wish I could have seen how it would have ended if we were able to play.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about this. It was a three-way playoff when regulation ended. You made it through the first round tied with one other golfer, and then the darkness came. And what happened at that point? What was the decision?
So we went through the first two playoff holes, and all three of us tied. And then the Wagner coach came up to us and said that due to darkness, that they were going to do a scorecard countback. So they picked the hardest hole in the course, and the best score out of us three was going to be the champion, unless all three of us wanted to continue to play. But two out of the three wanted to play, and the one didn't. So they kind of went to that. And
Man,
unfortunately, yeah, I got the short end of the stick there, but it was a good experience.
The team tied for second in the Metropolitan Intercollegiate Championship, and prior to that, you played in the Towson Fall Invitational. The team you finished second, and the team finished third. Let's talk about your play at Towson as well. You were hitting it pretty well.
Yeah, that first round was definitely one to remember. Nothing really went wrong, bogey-free, so can't complain, but it was my best 18-hole tournament round, so just seemed like everything was kind of going where I wanted it to, and the putts were dropping, and yeah, it was pretty cool. Just kind of, I didn't know I set the record until after the round, I guess. I got a couple texts from some buddies and said, "Good job, nice record," and I was like, I guess, and I kind of looked it up, and I was like, oh, wow.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Congratulations to you, no question. Now, the fall season is over right now, so how do you stay in tune with golf? How do you keep in touch with golf? I mean, I realize the weather's still good enough for you to go out there and play a couple of rounds, but how do you do it during the winter?
Well, being from where I am, I'll typically try head out to our home course here and play until it's really, really cold and where I can't, but we have access to the dome, so we'll head out there quite a bit and then just kind of just keep working on what we need to work on, and then over break I'll head down to Arizona. I have relatives that live there, so I can go down there and practice and all that kind of stuff, and that's kind of what I do during the winter, but I'm not too sure what the others do. I know they go to the dome when they're here, but over break I'm not too sure what they do.
Does it feel the same inside the dome, or do you feel like you're cupped in?
Yeah, definitely a little claustrophobic at times, but it's really good, especially in the January, February when we're going pretty hard at practice. But it's good to work on your swing. Then kind of when you get outside, it's a little bit of an adjustment to get used to everything again. But we've been golfing for however long, so it's not terrible.
You obviously from Saskatoon, and the thing is, there have been restrictions on travel over the border. What's that been like for you?
So freshman year when COVID hit, I was going to go home right when all the classes went online, but I ended up going down to stay with my relatives in Arizona for a while until school finished because I didn't know if I had to come back and write finals or not. But then my parents weren't able to drive across the border with me, so I've been driving to and from. And then when I go home, before the vaccines came out, I had to quarantine for 14 days. So just I was down here all year last year. I didn't get to go home for Christmas or anything like that. So it's been a little more difficult, but nothing crazy. I'm still able to get back and forth when I have to.
Sure. What about communications? I mean, are you Zooming, you're FaceTiming, or a combination of everything?
Yeah, I've call my parents. almost every night, FaceTime my friends back home. But yeah, nothing's really changed besides just not being able to go home like for Christmas.
Sure.
But yeah.
Well, it's good you have family in Arizona. I'm sure you were able to hone your skills while you were there.
Yeah, it was nice. I was able to work with my coach down there as well, so it was really good. I feel like even between this year and last year, I improved a ton, so it was nice to kind of see all the hard work pay off.
Championship season starts March of 22. Obviously, you're already thinking about that. I'm sure mentally getting prepared as well, not just physically.
Yeah, we got a long off season ahead of us, so we're just going to all try and improve and become the best players we can for this upcoming season and hopefully have a good showing at the Horizon League Championships.
That's a Robert Morris record setter, Josh Nagy, out of Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, member of the men's golf team. Good luck next season.
Thank you very much.
Get a group together and cheer on the Colonials with teammates, family, and friends while creating memories that will last a lifetime. Group tickets are on sale now for RMU football at Joe Walton Stadium and men's and women's basketball at the UPMC Event Center. Special rates for groups of 10 or more and exclusive on-field or on-court experiences are available for groups of 25 or more. Call the RMU Group Sales Hotline at 412-397-4949 or check it out at rmucolonials.com. Time to catch up with all the teams here in action at Robert Morris University here on the Bobby Moe Show. Let's start with men's golf. As we were talking with Josh earlier, we mentioned the team finished its season this past Monday and finished second at the Metropolitan Collegiate Championship. Men's soccer lost 3-2 to Green Bay on Friday, but they picked up a 1-0 win over IUPUI yesterday. That means they've made the playoffs in the Horizon League, and they will play at Milwaukee Sunday at 2 o'clock Eastern Time. You'll be able to catch it on the ESPN streaming services. In volleyball, they fell 3-1 at Fort Wayne and 3-1 at IUPUI. They'll be back home this coming Friday for a big match against the Penguins of Youngstown State. That one set to go at 6 o'clock p.m. Football last weekend, another come-from-behind victory for the Cardiac Colonials. They beat Hampton 38-35 on Nick Biseglia's field goal as we had just 5 seconds left in that ball game. The Colonials will host Kennesaw State, one of the big dogs in the Big South. That will be Saturday at noon at Joe Walton Stadium. You'll be able to watch that game on ESPN Plus and listen in on the RMU Colonial Game Day app. It's family weekend, by the way, at Joe Walton Stadium for the big football game against the Owls of Kennesaw State. Next week, basketball tips off officially. The women's team will be at St. Bonaventure on Tuesday at 11:30 a.m. The men's team starts the season against Central Florida in Orlando Wednesday night at 7 o'clock. I'll have the call of that game right here on the RMU Game Day app. Make sure you tune in about a couple of minutes before tip time. And don't forget, next week we have another great guest coming up here on the Bobby Moe Show. It'll be women's basketball coach, championship basketball coach, Charlie Biscaglia. I'm Chris Shovlin. That's the Bobby Moe Show for this week.